Hi and welcome to Take Time to Create. This is where we take time out of our everyday lives to create new and wonderful things. I have this Christmas tree that I'm going to decorate today, and I got it from Hobby Lobby, and I think I got it a couple years ago. So I apologize that they don't have these anymore, but they might have something similar. I clip off the tag. Now it is really long and I don't want to zoom out too far. So I'm just going to kind of work in the middle section so you can see that. Let me throw my tag away. We're going to jump in and do a mixed media technique with this, but the first thing we want to do is paint it. And I have a little basket here of Liquitex Basics, and I am going to start with cadmium yellow to just paint the star. Let's just do that real quick. Not too worried about making it perfect because it'll all get covered up. But just in case something doesn't get covered up, we want to make sure that there's a base color. Now I have my Teflon sheet, but I also have a book underneath. Oh, there you go. And so that way it's kind of lays a little flatter because I've got this stand here that's getting in the way. So that's how I prepped my surface. I'm just going to paint the little star, and I will go back and paint the edges later. Not worried about that right now, and that's just because I know I'm going to mess up the edges with all of my techniques, and so I'll just clean them up at the end and make them look really good. For the tree, I'm going to paint Hooker's green. And I'm just going to spread it on nice and easy like this. Not even getting a palette out, just painting. All painted and it looks good. It'll be just fine. So now I'm going to scoot it up because I'm going to work from the bottom up, and I want you to be able to see it. I've seen this technique online. I'm going to be 100% honest. I've never done it before, but I've seen it online and I thought I would try it because it looked so cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pipe. I have my, let's put my little plate down. I have my little bag here and I have my tip here, just like in cake decorating. And I am so excited, unbelievably excited to try this. Never done this before, and honestly, I'm not very good at cake decorating. So we're just going to see what happens. And so what you do with this is you use heavy body paint, and I have some Finnabar, and this is impasto paint, and I have a little bit of Liquitex heavy body, and this is green as well. So I've got two shades of green, and I'm going to mix them with some gloss heavy gel. Now I'm going to move my tree over. And I scooted it out of the way because I'm going to use a canvas board to practice on. Now the tree is pretty large and I'm going to need quite a bit, so I'm going to mix up a big pile. I'd rather just mix it all up once because I'm going to mix some colors and I want it to look as similar as possible. Okay, just like that. Oh, you can't really see it. Put a big blob down, and that's the heavy gel, and I'm going to use this green heavy body Liquitex. Gonna put a little bit in. Now it's gonna dull the color a little bit, but this will dry clear. All right, look at that. Now I just kind of sprayed it around. You can kind of see I didn't really, I don't want to mix it in too much, and I'm just going to kind of slightly swirl it just like that. Kind of dip it up and down. There we go. I'm not mixing it all up. I have my tip on the bag, and now I am going to scoop it out, and I'm going to apologize right now. My piping is not going to look perfect. Like I said, I am not a cake decorator. I am new to this. but it looked so much fun. So I had to try it. I put gloves on because this is kind of messy. All right, twist your bag, just like how you pipe, just like how you pipe frosting. And, oh, that's pretty. Oh, that's pretty. That's exactly how I want to do it. All right, cool. Practiced enough. Probably haven't practiced enough, but I'm impatient. I want to get on my tree. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so cool. All right, so I am going to start right here, I guess. I don't think it really matters, and I am just squiggling around. Oh, that's so cool. Look at that. Oh, I love it. Okay, cool. And I am just going to squiggle all over. You can do any type of piping. Now this uses a lot of paint. Mostly it uses a lot of gel medium, and you want to use a gel medium that stays up. Now I think I'm going to use a bigger tip to get the base, or it's kind of to the trunk, but I'm going to do it in green, but I've got a larger tip, and I think that's what I will do because I think it'll look better, but I'm going to worry about that in a few minutes. Now this will take a little bit to dry too. Oop, I don't know what that is. I got a chunk of something in there. I don't know what that was. Oh, that looks so good. All right, so instead of getting another pipe dirty, another tip dirty, it's looking okay to do it with this tip. So I'm not gonna worry about the bigger one, but I am going to mix up a little bit more paint. All right, it's not perfect on the matching, but I'm not gonna worry too much about it. And I'm just going to, hopefully I mixed up enough. And I'm just going to finish out my tree. So yeah, fingers crossed that I won't have to do any more, but if I do, I do. It's not a big deal. Let me finish this tree and I will get right back to you. All right, there we have it. Everything is done. I want to leave it flat. Now, while it's still wet, I'm going to take my gloves off. While everything is still wet, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this green metallic glitter. It says Jones Tones. I've had it in my stash for almost forever. I'm going to pour a little bit into the cap so I don't get overzealous. And I'm just going to sprinkle green glitter on. Now's the time because it's wet. Not a ton, just enough. I haven't painted the star yet because I don't want any green glitter sticking to it. So I'm going to wait to paint the star until this is all done. Okay. All right, lots of green glitter. Love it. I have some of this gold and it looks like tinsel, so I love it. And I'm just going to sprinkle it on mostly on the edges. Whoop, I got quite a bit there, but that's all right. I like it. And I also have some of the red Jones Tones, and I'm going to add some red because I'm feeling like we need some contrast on this tree. It's got some really pretty gold. It has some really pretty silver, or not silver, green. But now we need some red to really get this tree going. Look at that. Let me hold it up. Look at that. You can still see the piping texture. You can see all of the glitter, all of the goodies. And we're going to leave it just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take some rhinestones and we're just going to add them on the ends of all of the swirls. So now it's time to do the star. And what I did is I mixed up some heavy gel with some yellows. Now I'm going to take some regular gold, and this is just Deco Art in the color Splendid Gold, and it's not going to hold its structure as well. That's why you don't want to use regular acrylic paint, but I kind of wanted to have a little bit of gold in there, just kind of streaked through. And I'm not going to pipe this just because I don't want to deal with getting a bag out and all that good stuff. So I think it'll be okay. I have a little palette knife, and I think I mixed way too much, but that's all right. And I am just going to kind of place it on there, and then I'm going to kind of texture it up, I guess is the word. And I'm going to kind of spread it out just a little bit. And you want to make sure you still have your star point so it still looks like a star, not a blob of paint. There we go, you can see it. Oh, it looks so cute. All right, so now let me wipe off a little bit of the corners. Now it looks like a star still, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of these star glitters. I just have a scrap piece of paper here because I'm going to try to not get it on the tree. And I'm really coating it. There we go, just like that. So now this has to dry. This has got a lot of paint on it. It's got a lot of things going on. So I'm going to let this dry. Probably overnight. It might take 2 days to dry before we can do anything else to it. So let's let it dry 100%, and then I will be back when it's ready to go to the next step. So we're back, and this is all dry now. Let me hold it up close so you can see it. You can still see the really cool texture that the piping bag made. You can see how it kind of sticks up. Really cool. I learned a few things. Now, I don't remember if I said this earlier, but I'm going to reiterate it. Once you use a piping set, a bag, and the tip with paint, it is no longer food safe. So just use a different one for food. I'm sure you guys can figure that out, and I'm sure I don't have to repeat myself, but I just have to. So pretty. You can still see a lot of the texture, but let me show you my sample. This is that sample, that practice one I did. And so what I learned is if you're going to put elements like glitter and things, it's kind of heavy and it'll press it down. So if you want to still see a lot of the texture and put glitter on top, I would use super heavy gel. I just use heavy gel, and it works great with no additional elements on top. And then you can paint or put waxes over the top of this. That's what I learned, but I didn't see a lot of tutorials or people adding glitter on top of their already piped stuff. So it's kind of a learning process. I am glad that I painted the tree green because you can see, like right here, you can see the tree coming through, and right here, you know, there's a lot of places like that where the paint shifted or I just didn't put paint there. So it makes it look good and a little more seamless. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to paint the back. So it's time to get that done. And I'm going to also paint the edges like this too. So it looks all one color, all nice and cohesive. I have just the same color paint, the Impasto paint. For the star, I'm using the yellow, and I did put a little tiny bit of gold in there because there is gold on the star. And I'm using this green one from Liquitex for the body of the tree. And if I have to add a little bit of water to just to get it so that it's not so thick, then that's fine too. But this is the back. I'm not too worried about it. Let me move this down. So I'm going to go ahead and paint this side, let it dry, and I'm also going to paint the base, and I'm just going to do that in a brown color. And that's everything. And then we're going to add the final details. So this is not very exciting. So I'm going to paint this, and then I'll be right back because, like I said, not very exciting watching me paint. It's like watching paint dry, right? So let me do this, let it dry, and I'll be right back. So it's all done and it's all painted. Let me flip this over. Not perfect. I think I should call this whole project Learn from My Mistakes. So if I were to do this again, I would actually paint the whole thing green before I added the paint on the front, the thick paint. If I had green spray paint, I think that would have worked the very, very best. And that's because it could get in all those little nooks and crannies really easily, but I didn't have green spray paint, and I didn't think I wanted to paint the back until, well, the end, and then I decided to paint the back, but that's okay. I am loving it. It's all done. It'll need touch-ups later because that's just the way it goes. You look and you're like, oopsie. Now the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some elements down to the bottom, but let me prop this up because I want to show you what I'm doing. So let me find something to prop this up with. All right, now you can see what I'm doing, and I have over here a bunch of poinsettias, and these all came off of little picks, and a little drum, and an ornament, and all kinds of goodies. Oh, a present. So I am just going to start adding them. I have more in a bin behind me. I'm not sure if I need them or not, but I think I'm just gonna start going. And I kind of want presents and, oh, I'm gonna trim this really close, the ornaments as more my focal point, and I'm going to add things around the presents, and I think the little drum, and I'll stick the ornament in there too. Then I'll add the littler things. I don't think I want to get too big, so I don't want a lot of stuff going up. So yeah, I'm just going to get started, and I have hot glue to adhere everything down. And there we have it. All of the little decorations are done at the bottom of the tree. Oh my goodness, this tree looks so very cute. Thank you so much for watching. You can find me on Instagram and on my Facebook and on my blog. And my blog and my Instagram, Take Time to Create, both have up-close photos of all of the projects that I do. So if you really want to see the detail on this and the up-close and you want to go back and look at it again and again, it is on my blog and on my Instagram. I also have another Instagram, Linda's Journey 78. That's just all my other things, and I'd love to have you follow me on both. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys next time.